G'day, superstars. G'day, legends. It's Peps, and it is J-Dog joining you for the Round 11 Lace Out Review. Big boy, we're getting straight into it. It was a belter of a weekend. Upsets galore, upset people galore, memberships in microwaves, scarves in bins. It was just the perfect weekend of football everybody could have asked for. More importantly, wrap to have you joining me tonight. Good to have you back in the host chair. You've actually put a little bit of effort into your background as well, too, which I'm really loving. So for everybody who's listening to this right now on the podcast, you can just hear the beautifulness that Jamie Wallace is showing on the screen right now. How you going, big boy?
I am having a wonderful Monday. I love coming and joining the show when you invite me onto well, I suppose your show. I floated my half of the show with the public, and you've had some wonderful guests on. But it's great to come back on a Monday when Melbourne loses. Like it just gives me the warms.
Let's be honest. For everybody who's joining us for the first time, I'm Chris Pepper, the host of the Lace Out podcast, with my co-host with the most. He'll always be the co-host with the most. He might not be able to make it every week, but when he joins us, he is definitely my great man in charge with me, Jamie the J-Dog Wallace. It's Lace Out. We've been going on for 6 years. It is going to be a massive review. We're going to go through all the topics as per normal. We're going to get straight into it. We're not even going to be fluffing around by what we did on the weekends, because if you're on Facebook, you would have seen where I was on the weekend, having a little bit of a dig at the Melbourne Football Club after their woeful performance on the weekend. And I know you, big fella, are super excited to talk about Port Adelaide and the greatest coach outside Mark Williams to ever coach that club in terms of Ken Hinkley. And I want to hear about the love and admiration you have for that guy. But we'll get to that very, very shortly. We're going to spin the magnets. We're about to go through the ladder. We'll do some around the grounds work. But a lot of it has to talk about the great games of AFL this weekend. So I reckon let's just get straight to the ladder, because there's a lot of moving and there's a lot of shaking happening on right now. If we throw this bad boy up, it is the second week of the Sir Doug Nicholls round, so I'm going to have to go old school here, and I'm going to have to go with the Aboriginal names. So we've got Collingwood at the top, one game clear of the Yatapulti, a.k.a. Port Adelaide. How's it feel, J-Dog, being that high up on the ladder? It's been a while since you've been sitting up there, top of the food chain.
Undefeated, Yatapulti, so well done. We are undefeated.
Well, there you are, with the Brisbane Lions and Nam, 32 and 28 points respectively. St Kilda on 28 and the Western Bulldogs on 28. Adelaide Crows on 24. And Essendon, after a great win on the weekend, what a cracking finish to that game, 24 points as well. Just outside of the 8 is Whyalla, otherwise known as the Fremantle Dockers. Geelong, Sydney, and the Gold Coast Suns all on 20 points. Carl Tank on 13. GWS, great win on the weekend as well too. Richmond, Hawthorn, North Melbourne, and the Wet Coast Eagles. Soggy as always, sitting at the bottom of the ladder. Big boy, I reckon about, I think it might have been your last show. We were talking about the ladder, and we were saying it's pretty much locked in. There's not going to be any changes. There's not going to be any alterations, etc. We got that completely wrong, because there has been movers and shakers up and down. And after the weekend's games, it brought teams in the middle of the pack closer, but it still gave those teams at the top holding their spot, but not as much gap as we had previously.
Right. Well, it sounds like you must have taken a leaf out of the Carlton board members' playbook. You've literally thrown me under the bus 5 minutes into the show. Accused me of setting the ladder was saying things that's not true, and then just chucking me into this. I'm pretty sure that I said there's some movement there, but what's really changed, Peps? What's changed?
Oh, I'll tell you, Adelaide's in there.
Yeah.
Essendon are in there.
They were always around there last time.
No, they weren't. Geelong was in there, Sydney was in there, and Carlton were in the 8.
Yeah.
Last time you were on the show. So
Yeah,
a lot of things have changed. Look, let's be honest. It was the round of football that we had. Upsets galore. It was a football tipping nightmare. I think I still got 5. And I got one of those because I didn't even pick anyone.
I've seen lots of 3s this week.
There's been lots of threes. And there was actually 3 7s this weekend, interestingly enough, which we'll get into.
Don't know anything about football.
All right, let's have a look at it. Just from the top here. Collingwood, safe. Your mob, Port Adelaide, are you happy with the way that they're going at the moment? Do you see them locking in a top 2 spot?
If we don't lock in a top, I'm not saying a top 2, but top 4 from here, I think that's That's unders for us this season.
Okay. Brisbane Lions.
Yeah, around about.
My mob, Nam, aka Melbourne, in 4th. Let me just say this. If they don't pull their proverbial fingers out of their proverbial bunghole very, very shortly, they will be scraping for a spot in the 8.
Everyone knew it was coming, Peps. Like, literally, everyone. I get private messages. I get everyone sliding into my Insta, my TikTok, my Snapchats, my Facebook. They're all telling me, J-Dog, you are 100% on this. Melbourne have played nobody, and when they do, they will fold quicker than a bride's nighty. And it's true.
Understandable. St Kilda, they're folding pretty hard. Western Bulldogs are climbing pretty hard.
Yeah.
Adelaide Crows and Essendon. Interesting. Essendon, great win. And we'll worry about the rest of them later on. But it's going to be interesting heading into something that I don't really like.
Where's West Coast?
Where's West? Same where they've been for the last 3 years, mate. Down the bottom.
Got that one right then.
Yeah, got that one right. And North. Stiff. Okay. Craigie Jones. We've got to love Craigie Jones. If everybody doesn't know, this is from the Portress podcast. Great. If you're a Port Adelaide supporter, just
Legend.
like the J-Dog is absolute superstars. Just checking if I was okay after my rant on the weekend. Yeah, I'm feeling a lot better now. I've had a lot of time to think about it, and I wouldn't take a word back.
I've got a question, Peps.
Yeah.
I sent you a request to join you on your live, and you didn't. You just flat out rejected me. I was like, oh, "Come on, I'll have a bit of a chat to you. We'll do a live together."
No, you don't interrupt me on the lives. When I rant, you do not. Now, if you want to have a chance, everyone get on to look me up, Christopher Pepper, in the on the Facebooks.
Why 2 rants this week?
Pardon?
Why 2 rants? Yeah, look up
was
Peps
that-
on
was that up-
Facebook.
I was that upset after what they served up on the weekend. I had to do 2 rants.
Do people just look at you?
They look at me and they go, "Thank you for the rants. We've missed these." People love the rants.
They do love the rants.
They love the rants. They love it. So hopefully, if we beat Carlton this week, there'll be a rant. If we lose to Carlton, it could be I reckon the weekends was the biggest meltdown rant I've ever rolled out. The weekend, if we lose to Carlton, could be the ultimate. I might even have to microwave the Grange. That's how bad it might get. It could
Ooh.
get that bad. Yep.
Look out.
Hey, J-Dog.
Yes.
Let's go and spin some magnets, big boy. And I think I'm going to give out some. I want to give out some votes straight away. Do you mind if I do that?
Yeah, go for it.
Go for it. Are you there, Andrew?
3 votes.
All right, let's go with some votes. First and foremost, upset games. Or just upsets galore. We spoke about it a little bit earlier. I reckon was it 5 out of the 9 games had upsets.
Yeah, you call that. Yep.
5 of the 9. 3 of those games were 7-point margins.
It's great. Yep.
It was a tipster's nightmare, and it was great for footy.
Yeah.
It was just great for footy. We love it. Regardless if your team won or lost, that's what footy's all about. It's funny, though. All the teams at the top of that were losing. Were really hoping that the teams around them were losing so they wouldn't lose anywhere on the ladder. It was actually quite good to see.
Yeah, teams didn't really move up or down, did they? Because
No,
everyone else
didn't.
lost around them.
But what happened was their buffers that they had of maybe 1 or 2 games buffers shrunk.
Yeah.
Is part of it. Look, I've given this guy a bit of stick over the years, my friend. Look, I've called him Jordan Donuts, Jordan de Gropey, Jordan de Gooey. But Jordan de Goey, how good is it good? How good is it to finally see this guy really stringing games together? He was immense on the weekend. Like
He was.
I didn't realise his power that he had out of the contest and the speed that he can actually drive, especially in the first 10 to 15 metres. He's actually quite quick-footed. The way he brings his teammates into the game as well is something that the look at me players don't normally do. That's why they look at me. But he's look at us, and I'm really loving what he's delivering. He had 35, 10 inside 50s. He had a goal. He had 6 score involvements. Dominated the coaches' votes across the board. He's putting together a really nice all-Australian calibre season, and I'm willing to put my hand up and say, Jordan de Goey, I'm impressed by what I'm seeing with you at the moment. So thank you very much. I also have to give out a vote. A vote's out to Steel Sidebottom. 300 games. Look, it takes a special type of player, Jamie, to rack up 300 games at a particular club. And there's only one person on this podcast that's done that, and it's not you. So I know what he's been through. Look, hey, the guy can't drive for shit. But to play 300 games for Magpies, absolutely sensational. I think he becomes the 4th player at Collingwood to do that. I think. Maybe the 6th. One of the 2. But anyway, I'll also have to give a hands up to Mr. USA himself, Mason Cox, playing his 100th game. And I will say, the night that they beat Richmond in the prelim, when they got coxed, was one of the best nights of football ever. When you have 90,000 people cheering, USA, USA, it was absolutely sensational to just see the tears on the Richmond supporters' faces that dribbled down the side of their faces. So congratulations, Mr. Cox. And also, my love child, arguable, the GWS's number one player ever, Toby Green, playing his 200th game and just turned it on with a casual four as well too. Look, they challenged him when they made him captain, and he's just become a far better player and a leader as well too. And the Giants are tracking very nicely under Adam Kingsley as well.
Yeah, I agree with all.
Yep. Any highlights for you?
No, not really.
Yep.
I mean, it's just a drama. It's a drama of the AFL, mate. It's a drama.
It is a drama. Can I just say one more? And this is just coming in the chat, Craigie Jones. And this is not even football related, but just a feel-good news. Kelly Finlayson, so Jeremy Finlayson's wife, her cancer has actually been downgraded as well too. So it's actually dropped a bit, which is really just great to hear. You know, football's not just about the players; it's the families, etc. And we've all probably known somebody who's gone through a cancer challenge over the years, and just to hear something like that, it just puts everything in perspective. That, you know what, there is a lot more than to the kicking a piece of pigskin around a field between some sticks. So that's a great noise. Some great news, sorry. And Lee Ali, great to see Fang. Hey, look at that. Lee Ali. I'm going to even put this one up. He is the Chris Pepper of GWS. That's a man who knows his football, Jamie. That is a man who knows his football.
I want to know...
Only if he wore number 6. Hey, only the greats get to wear 6, but I'll let Toby get away with what he's wearing. Number 4.
The difference is Toby plays in the centre or on the forward line. You play at halfback, which is really the most unaccountable position in the AFL.
They put all the match winners there, mate. They put all the match winners. Hey, Joel Michaels even jumped on tonight. Loyal listener for many, many years. He's even had a crack at you saying Laceout have gifted J-Dog this co-host spot tonight.
You Melbourne guys are so salty. You put one little post up on Facebook and you all just come out. You just all have the salts going on big time.
Hey, we have the salts, but that's how we feel, and we're going to stick with it as well too. Hey,
yes.
We've got to do it. We've got to get Ron out.
Haley off, Ellingworth on. Bloody weak as piss.
All right, this one's been going around. We've been talking about it quite a bit. How about Carlton? Like, if you're not a Carlton supporter, you're laughing right now, aren't you? Because it's
completely
paper bags. If it's not pokies, it's something else. And for people to have a blower in the rooms after the game on the weekend, to the point that somebody who's been on the board for many, many years has pulled the pin. The knives are out, mate. The knives are out for the board. The knives are out for the leadership. The knives are out for Voss. And I remember you telling me last year with Vossi, and I might have even been a couple of boys from Fortress, telling me about Vossi and how much of it probably was a mistake for bringing him on board. Port Adelaide was sort of a little bit clappity when he left. Mm-hmm. Isn't it interesting that only a year and, 11 games into his tenure, they're already looking at him potentially having to move on? Overreaction or warranted?
Complete overreaction. I think Carlton just need to just take a chill pill for a while. Look,
J-Dog,
the person
since 1995.
The person that I'm the most disappointed. The person I'm most disappointed in is where's Roman Bryan? Why didn't he pick this fight up? That could have been a good one. That'd have been more exciting than Tom Bellchambers and Mooney having a fight.
Oh,
imagine seeing Matheson and what's name going for it. That'd be a good one. Sayers and Matheson. Yeah. And Wiedering getting in there
too.
Hey,
Sayers looks like the AFL version of Alex Perry. He's always walking around with his glasses on his forehead. He's bald.
Oh look, it's ding dong fight night at Carlton at the moment.
Yeah, it's ding dong. It's ring a ding ding dong. We love it. Absolutely love it when we see things like that. So Carlton, it'll be interesting to sort of see where this. And funny enough, they've got I think a sponsors night tonight. All the big players are in there. Mike Fitzpatrick is there. Sellers McClure's there. It could get a little bit raunchy after a few Reds have been sunk down at that particular particular event. Jolly Michaels actually put this beautifully. The battle of the two underachieving sides of the last 4 weeks is Friday night. The loser will have a very bad week in the media. I'm going to ask you later on, J-Dog, who is going to win that game and why. But he is not far from being totally correct. Whoever loses that is shot.
I'll give my best attempt, Peps, as I have for the last 6 years, give my in-depth analysis and heavy research.
I know. And once again, Lee Ali, just superstar. He knows his football, this guy. Pep always shut down the forwards.
I think I left this show at the right time this year.
No, you never did. You never. Facts are facts, baby. Facts are facts. Another three players banned due to the dangerous tackle.
Yep.
All of them apparently are going to challenge. Is this becoming a real fast, J-Dog?
It's been a fast for a couple of years, Peps.
Yep.
I heard Buckley say it today. I'm like, he's true. He's right on the money. It's been a fast for a couple of years.
What, the sling
tackle? The tackle stuff, yeah.
I don't mind it. But there's been situations so far this year, and I think there was a couple even on the weekend. I think Jager Ramirez on Spargo was an example where I don't think he's even head hit the ground. But they're just calling him dangerous.
It touched,
yes. It did touch?
I touched.
I'd say just baby's touch.
Yeah.
Touchy.
Baby's touch.
But you can even see from the start of the season to now, players are using a lot more control when they're bringing players down to ground. But I think it's the 18 players so far who have been up tackling have not got off.
All right, Peps, tell me this.
I don't agree with it.
Every year, we sit here and we say, how good is the umpiring in the first 3 rounds of the AFL? Every year that we have done this, what goes wrong?
4 umpires for one.
But every year we go, they've got this right this year, they've got this right this year, they've got this right this year. We get 3 rounds in, and it just goes to shit every season.
I think the reason why it goes to the shit is that the rule... Well, I'll tell you why. This is what happens, right? I think it's a combination of 2 things. It's a combination of the way that teams play and then a combination of the umpiring rules interpretations here. If you think about it, the first few rounds of the season, it's really fast, it's really attacking. There's actually not many ball-ups, stoppages around the ground. As players get a lot more fitness, they're able to get to those contests, causes more congestion, and teams tend to sort of go back to their default methods, especially teams that aren't playing that well. They go back to the default ways to play, which is what? Very defensively minded. So if it's very defensively minded, there's going to be a lot more tackling. That saying, though, I saw some decisions live on the weekend where players were holding the ball, breaking 2 or 3 tackles, dropping it, and umpires just calling play on.
We can't even discuss the Suns game.
Tackled with even half a second. But you got an umpire at a Gold Coast Suns game tell a bloke that he crept over the mark by 2 meters. And if you watch the footage, I reckon if he went over by 50 centimeters, I would have bought real estate off this bloke. So I just think that there's too many interpretations. It should be black and white.
So then what goes wrong?
Around the world
what goes wrong? What happened? So why do we get it? Why do they change the interpretation? Because we all go, how good is it this year? They're playing the big push in the back and the mark. They're doing this. What changes?
Because, Jamie, what you just said there is that word, interpretation. What an experienced umpire, you know, even at work, we're in a very similar field in what we do.
Mm-hmm.
We know how to react to rooms. We know how to react when situations are good, when they're a bit challenging, etc. You get a new person in there, they tend to freeze, and what do? They tend to go back to what they've been taught or what they've been told. They don't use their experience. So a lot of the newer umpires are going literally letter of the law because that's what we're being told. People have been around for a while. They tend to have that experience where they can look around and go, you know what? No, I'm going to let that one go. No, that's not right. Yeah, I'll give that one. And it's not right. It's not right. It should be just black and white. It has to be black and white. It's also when the AFL go out and do stupid things like the hands in the back. That makes it hard. There's a thing called push in the back, but I've seen people being pushed on the sides, which you're allowed to do if it's in the same motion. Hands in the back, but you can put hands in the back, but when's hands in the back not hands in the back? When it used to be just a forearm or a hip and shoulder to move. They make it harder and harder instead of saying, these are the rules, this is what it should be. They let the players almost decide what needs to be done, if you know what I mean. And then it just makes it harder for players, for umpires, for supporters that know what the hell is going on.
So basically what it is, so what you're telling me is the AFL are adopting an agile project methodology. They're putting a product out there, they're getting feedback from the fans, and then changing the rules based on what the fans say.
Yeah, but agile works. This is not working.
Because we say it every year. Like this year, show one, we got on and we said, how good is the new holding the ball, dropping the ball interpretation? We were loving it. Players were getting tackled, they were dropping it, and they're going whistle, free kick, whatever. And then, as the seasons got longer and longer, we're starting to see players are just blatantly dropping it, throwing it, or crashing tackles, dropping it, and then being called play on.
Yep. It's just getting out of control, Jamie. If no one knows what the hell's going on. And also,
because the Suns game was a disgrace.
Yeah.
The Suns game was an absolute disgrace on Saturday night.
Oh, we'll get into a couple of those as well.
We will. Sorry.
No, I'll get into that. Flopping. Now, look, there's times when you need to flop, but on a football field, it's not it. There's a staging rule that they have. Now, the two things that I can't stand, flopping, can't stand it.
Yeah.
Right? We saw a couple of them. Like, I know you've stuck into Clayton Oliver a couple of times. I hate it when he does it. All right? Max King did it on the weekend. Waitman's done it.
Max King's a serial offender, though.
Ginnivan did it as well, too.
Yep.
There's some players that are just serial offenders, and if the umpires are complete nuffies to not pick these things up, or are they sucked into it? But the thing that shits me more than anything is that it's always the instigator that gets away with it, or is the one that gets pinged. Sorry, they get pinged. So they cause it. The other bloke pushes it back. They fall over, and it's free kick. Yeah. That's what annoys me more than anything, is that the instigator is getting away with it way too often. And once again, this is what happens when the AFL doesn't crack down. And you could say it's bullying on the field or however you taunting like the NFL have got, because the players can't do anything back. They can't smack them, kick them, flick them, nipple cripple them, opawate them, nothing.
Mm-hmm.
So they can get away with it. Mm-hmm. In the good old days, you go up and ruffle someone's hair. Next, you'll be having the smelling salts in the change rooms as you're waking up from being knocked out by your opposition player for being a smart ass.
Yeah.
You know, it's self-regulated. Now it's not self-regulated, and no one regulates it. It's the shits. And the bye. We've got the last one for being dragged is the bye weeks. So we're starting the bye weeks this weekend. Should we just make the call and just have a collective week off? Just have one weekend off. Local leagues can play rep games, have their opportunity to have their week off, whatever it might be. But this dragging it out over 4 weeks of not completely succinct rounds of football is a crock of shit, J-Dog. I can't stand it. I haven't liked it since the start, and I've never liked it. Like
a week off, Peps. That's interesting.
Just have 1 week off,
like we do for the finals.
Oh, like we do for the fault. Well, that's another story I've got to get rid of. But we'll wait for that to the end of the year.
Just get interesting.
Why do we have it, Jamie? Why can't we just go 1 week off, everybody gets the same, and we do the same thing? It's stupid. 4 weeks of, you got 6 games one weekend, 8 games one weekend, 7 games another weekend, 8 games another weekend. It just doesn't make any sense.
Is our league have an odd number of teams in it?
No.
I wonder, but then why do we do it for? What's the point of dragging this season out longer?
Why do we drag it? Oh, so but you're not really dragging it out. You're only dragging it out 1 week longer.
Ugh.
It's stupid. And look, here's a novel idea. Play every week. Why do you need a break? It's in the CBA, Joel Michael. Great question. It's in the collective bargaining agreement. I don't mind it if they have a week off. You know, they're allowed leave. I know they get 8 weeks off at the end of the year or whatever it might be, but I just think you have 1 week off. Just have 1 week, zip it, and that's it. A number of years ago, they had 16 teams have a week off, and then I think it was Collingwood and might have been St Kilda played the one game, standalone game for that weekend. That was stupid.
I just reckon don't have it. I'm all for
Yep.
not having it at all.
Yep.
You put your team out there every week. There's no week off. That's why it's football. That's why it's winter. That's what we love. If you got older players like your Geelongs, like your West Coast, like your Hawthorns at that time,
Yep.
you manage your players through the season. You don't rely on a bye to get you through.
Yeah, true. No, I agree with you. I think we're in the same. You're either like, don't have it. I'm like, well, just have it over 1 week and get it over and well done with. I'd rather them have a mid-season bye than that bye before the finals. That is just stupid.
Yep.
Total overreaction by the AFL and just sucks the life out of it. We've just got to get rid of it. And so if Andrew Dillon comes in, can you please get rid of that pre-finals bye? Please. It does nothing. Absolutely nothing for the concept of the game. Craig Jones, remember when players used to have a second job?
Heaven forbid it.
Yep. Some of them had to.
Yeah.
Times have changed, and they've got a lot more fingers in the pie as well too. Hey, J-Dog,
Yes.
rising star this weekend. Did you see there was a rising star, and he was from the Fremantle Football Club? Can you tell us anything about a gentleman by the name of Jai Amiss?
No, he just kicked a few goals, did really well, and has sexy hair and
Okay,
looks good.
well, I'll go into a little bit more depth than that.
Yeah,
but
do
he's
that.
been rewarded for his outstanding performance in the Dockers' Round 11 victory over the Melbourne Football Club.
Kicked 3, didn't he?
AFL Rising Star nomination. Kicked 3 goals in one of his best games yet for Fremantle. Upset 7-point win over the D's. Let's just say, if you're a Melbourne supporter, Joel Michael will know this. Tory, I saw the beautiful Tory on the weekend as well too at the game. It wasn't an upset. We knew it was coming. He had 14 disposals, 6 contested, 3 tackles, 336 metres gained, 2 goal assists, 6 score involvements. What more could you ask for? 4th win on the trot for the Dockers, and they are playing some pretty good football. And they've got a ripper. I remember speaking to the boys from the Purple Rain, the Duck and Purple Rain podcast, and he said Jai Amiss will be an absolute cracker this year. And by jingo, by crikey, did he get that one correct. So there is your rising star for this week, J-Dog. All right, journey to the draft following our player, Jacob Grant, played against the Eastern Rangers on the weekend. Very narrow loss. Didn't really do much. Bit of a quiet one for the young fella, so he's going to be bouncing back with another game this week. So it's getting closer to the national titles. Fingers crossed he's going to be playing for big country this year. So we'll be there with the great man, Jacob Grant, following his career all the way up to draft night. All right. Hey, J-Dog, what's one of your favourite segments that we love to roll out here at Lace Out?
The wrap-up.
Besides the wrap-up.
The news, Peps.
No, it's not. It's this one.
Here comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes the money. Money, money, money.
Dollar, dollar. Dollar, dollar. Ching, ching, ching.
Are we here already, Peps? We're talking money already.
Yeah, I love a bit of bling-bling. Gotta love a bit of bling-bling. Dollar bills, dollar bills. So, a lot of contract news to come out of tonight as well, too. Rumours, innuendo, etc. Rightio, let me plough through a few of these. Jack Billings from the Saints looks like he's extremely gettable. The pick 3 of the draft he was in, not getting a game at the moment for St Kilda. Would you take him at your club?
Absolutely not. No.
Right on.
No way. No way. No. It's a hard no.
You there?
No, that's way too loud.
All right, is that better?
That's better. It's way better.
All
No,
right.
absolutely not, Peps. Absolutely not.
Wouldn't take him?
No.
No. All right.
What does he offer? What does he offer?
Not much.
Slow, a midfielder who can't run, kick, break packs, and small. No.
No. 2 clubs, Essendon and Gold Coast, looking at James Jordan for the D's. I wouldn't like the guy to go, but he's played 8 games this year for the D's. 4 of those has been the sub. That's not good.
He's been on your list for 3 years now?
I think it's been 3 years.
Yeah.
Yeah. Played in every game the year that they won the flag. Premiership player at the D's.
Yeah.
Very interesting. Sam Flanders might be looking somewhere else as well on the radar of rival clubs. I like Sam Flanders. I don't know what it is, but I'd hate for him to go and go anywhere else. But yeah, a couple of clubs looking at him as well, trying to get him back to Melbourne as well too. Apparently, St Kilda are looking at Paddy Dow.
Hang on, let's stop there and talk about Paddy Dow.
Yep.
Yes or no
No.
for St Kilda?
No.
Still not for Saints?
No.
Interesting.
Saints need to move on from recycling players. They don't have a good They don't have. If he can't get a game at Carlton, what's he going to do at St Kilda?
Well, he
I don't
could probably
think-
go down there and help Marshall at the back line. Shore him up a little bit.
Not baller. I don't know. I don't think enough. Forget about him. James Harms looking at Gold Coast and Essendon having a bit of a nibble at the premiership player.
Very gettable. Very
And-
gettable.
If I was Melbourne, I would make the deal.
Yeah, I knew you would.
Not
Back end,
that I have
second
any
round?
best
Back
interest-
end?
Pardon?
Back end second?
I reckon it'd be. If
Is he
I got a
contract?
second
What's-
point,
what-
I'd be wrapped.
What's his deal? Is he up for free agent, restricted free agent? Or not?
I'm not too sure, but I think the situation with him is that
No one likes him.
he's just a bit long in the tooth
Yes.
and probably expendable. Like if it was Jordan or Harms, I'd take Jordan. Okay.
Okay.
Yep. I
All
don't-
right.
Yeah, it's because Harms have been there for a lot of the bad times, and he loved Melbourne all his life. But
So it's gone.
yeah, but not going to get rid of Gorn. Richmond looking at Harry Himmelberg. I know Sydney are as well too. Tell me a little bit, Miles Bergman, mate. A lot of interest coming for the 21-year-old playing 41 games for the Power.
Switch back to the half back line and as just an elite user of the ball. He's really become a probably one of our best running defenders.
Yep.
So if we lose Bergman, it would be a big loss for Port Adelaide.
Yeah, I like the cut of this guy's jib. I watched him when he played us a number of weeks ago and sliced and diced us. And
He
yeah,
also
really
gets.
like- He's,
if
and
you watch a Port,
he doesn't mind the contest as well too, so he can spread, but also gets the in and unders if he needs to as well.
constantly gets called Horn Francis because he has the exact same hair as Horn Francis, basically.
But you know when Horn Francis has got the ball, and you know when Bergman's got the ball.
What's the
No booze. No booze. Brisbane looking at maybe at Sava Radaglia. Brisbane take any more?
Do Brisbane want a Sava Radaglia?
Who's their centre half back? McStay went,
McStay left.
yeah, and so they're lacking a big man. Harrison, but they've got Pryor who's been playing sensational for them. Why would you take?
This is the first year that Radagalia's played in the back line. Like it's a
Yeah,
okay. It feels like you've just like as he's shown nothing as a backman. They've chucked him down there because he just does an experiment because they didn't know what to do with him.
he's come off all right.
It's come off all right, but would you invest in giving him a 2-year contract at the age of 31 or whatever it is?
On the weekend, so no, no.
Interesting.
That'll be a one to watch. And the last one I want to quickly go through, J-Dog, is after the rise, and when I say you'll understand, the rise of Luke Jackson against the D's on the weekend, should Fremantle look at trading Sean Darcy?
Should Fremantle look at trading Darcy?
Yep.
So you're saying there is no point developing for a second ruckman with Luke Jackson there?
That's what Freo was saying. Why would you invest all that money in Darcy when you could potentially trade him off to a club? Perfect example could be someone like North, someone like Hawthorn, someone like Sydney. Who
Can I
Maybe
take this in a different direction, Peps?
you get a first rounder for him, probably. Probably get a first
No.
rounder for him.
No.
But Darcy, well, he's going around as probably one of the top two ruckmen for a majority of this year with English.
What would you
Clubs need ruckman. He's a big boy, can play. He was probably best on ground the week before.
Well, the immediate needs are North. They have an immediate need for a ruckman. I don't know how long Goldie can keep going for.
Can't get him on Sunday.
Can I chuck a hypothetical out there, Peps?
Mm-hmm.
Why do AFL clubs commit to long-term deals with ruckmen? I believe ruckman should only ever be offered a maximum of 2 years. And it's not because of all the stuff. Hear me out, Peps.
Okay.
When do you ever hear a ruckman dominating a competition for 3 or 4 plus years in a row?
I reckon the 6-time All-Australian Max Gawn went pretty well.
But was he the best ruckman in the league?
I would say the 6-time All-Australian Max Gawn would probably be pretty good.
Yeah, but he wasn't though.
What do you mean?
Look at him this year.
No, but that's...
Look
hold
at
on.
him when you won the premiership. Luke Jackson was your actual star of the ruckman.
Oh, here we go. Here we go. Okay.
No, tell me what
I'm
ruckman.
telling you now.
Brodie Grundy. He had one breakout season, $1 million contract. Next couple of seasons, absolute trash.
Oh, he had injury issues, so we'll give him that one.
So okay,
No,
so
but
this,
that's like
this,
any
is,
player,
this is my
Tato.
point.
That's like
Why
any
would you
player.
put a player who you know is going to get bashed every game and offer him a 4-year plus contract on huge dollars when the lifespan of a ruckman at that peak level is so much shorter than a forward or a midfielder?
I'd say it's the complete opposite, J-Dog. I reckon you're going to have more longevity. If you get a good ruck, I'm not talking your bottom half of the ladder. I'm talking English, Gawn, Marshall, Draper, Nick Nat in his prime, but Julie Julio's gone with a bit of Nick Nat, and I'm like, well, Nick Nat, yeah, he could jump.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't really do much else. If you're not in the top 6 ruckmen in the league, you've probably got a point there. But I reckon that's the same with forwards. Forwards only need to get the... All right, look at Mackay. Perfect example. 2 years ago, Coleman medalist. Now, a very low year. We were that year that we won the Coleman, right?
Mm-hmm.
He's gone from nailing virtually everything he kicked to he couldn't nail jelly to a wall. He could not nail a $2 lady of the night in Bali at the moment because
Right.
he's just all over the joint.
Mm-hmm.
So when players get the yips, forwards get the yips. You get a backman can go down. Midfielders do a knee, get a shoulder, whatever. It can go like that. So I don't think I understand. You got to have a look at the complete package. You can't just look at where they play. It's what they do around the ground.
Yeah, I'm just not convinced. I mean, that's your opinion. I'm just not convinced with Ruckman to give him big contracts on long years.
Yeah, no, I agree. But if you give someone like Darcy 900 over 4, he'll take it. It's 4 years. You get the top 6 ruckman in the league who's going to be putting it down your midfield's throat every single chance. And when he gets down forward, is a target that not many people are going to move.
That's $1.8 million over a couple of years extra that you could be giving to a midfielder who could be worth it. A midfielder set you up. Midfielders is where it's at.
Nah, I don't agree. You have to, mate. I've got gun midfielders in my team. You've got gun midfielders in your team. If you have too much of the same thing, I think midfielders to a degree are overpaid as well.
Look at Geelong. No recognised ruckman, really, for the best part of a decade, and unreal. Just unreal. Unreal club. Unreal.
Have they really been unreal?
Yeah, they've been unreal.
They've won one flag. Yep, give them that.
Yeah,
It's
top
good.
8. I still finals every year.
No, I agree.
Prelims.
I agree.
This year,
I think it
iffy.
depends on the way that you play. I think it really comes down to the way your team's structured, the way that you play. If you've got a team that wants to protect the line, you need a big boy down back, it's going to work. If you're going to play... See, Collingwood have got away with it at the moment. But I say at the moment. Cameron hasn't been there. Cox has been... if Cox goes down and you got no big boys, if Cox goes floppy, what are you going to do?
Let's go through some of the things here from the panel joining us tonight.
Yeah, I know. Go for it, big boy.
McKay's in the boat as Buddy. Oh,
What, from a kicking perspective?
maybe has Buddy got the yips? Does Buddy have the yips ever?
I think Buddy's just got the old age.
Just got the old, yep. Nick Nat, I think that's referring to me and my comment about not giving Ruckman long contracts.
We're talking about Gun Ruckman. Yeah, you picked Nick Nat. Don't agree with it, Jules. I think he was good.
I think Nick Nat was 1-4. He's 1-4 for me. And we know what those players are called.
Yes.
Darcy for Georgiades straight swap. Okay, I like it, Craig.
No.
Talking about getting rid of
Georgiades.
Georgiades. I would happily trade Georgiades if we got something back. Yes.
Tracker?
Hey.
Tracker?
Yeah, I'd take Petrarca every day of the week.
That's why not going to happen.
Come on, J-Dog. Port wanted him as a defender. Calling about Miles Bergman. Actually, Bergs is look booed because like Joe. Yep, look at Corn Francis. Very good. Update your final 8 as of now. We will end the show.
Right.
And Donna, we will take him. We need all the help we get. Fair enough.
Yep, fair enough, Donna. Great to have you on board as well, too. Back Donna J when she just gives it. All right, big boy. It's time to go back and have a look at the games and check out the
Scoreboard!
And it all kicked off on the Friday night game. Sydney beating Carlton. I picked Carlton for this. I thought they were an absolute Monty. And that's when Upsetville started.
Yeah.
In your expert opinion, where's it going wrong for Carlton? I lost by 26 points, and when kicking 6 goals, 15 is not going to. That's one of the big issues that they've got. But where is it all going wrong at the moment?
Putrid kicking, which is an issue that the whole AFL has at the moment. Rubbish forward entries. They're not very good forward entries. They're not setting their club. They're not setting up the boys for success. They're pretty rubbish.
Can I ask you a question?
Mm-hmm.
So I don't have the exact numbers, but it was something along the lines of the number of times Mackay was targeted was double the amount that Curnow was.
Mm-hmm.
And Mackay's playing deep forward, and they want Curnow to be that Jeremy Cameron type.
Yeah.
So why would you have the guy who can't kick goals at all as your deepest forward?
Maybe keep him close to the goals for better accuracy? Maybe?
And that's Carlton. That is Carlton. They were absolutely, you name it, they were smashed from a goals perspective. They were just disappointing. The skill level, I think that was the thing that caught my eye, is that the disposal efficiency of some of these players that were running around last week was. Can I go through some? We go.
Please do.
Now this is overall disposal efficiency, so it's including kicks and handballs. But Mackay went at 25%. Curnow went at 39%. Corey Durden, 44. Jesse Motlop, 46. Ed Curnow, 50.
Yep.
Now, if we took out the handballs aspect out of that, it would be a lot lower. That's not good enough at all, especially when you got two small forwards in terms of Durden and Motlop, who probably aren't banging at 50, 40 metres. They're going to be doing short, sharp stuff. To not be able to be hitting targets at all, it just means the ball goes down the other end really quickly. I'll tell you one bloke, my mate Scotty Osborne, he played with him, absolute gun at East Keeler, just superstar. Family's amazing. A few people in the chat would know him as well too. When we went and watched Melbourne Sydney this year, he goes, I love the Lizard. Nick Blakey, the Lizard. And I go, the Lizard? He goes, have a look how he runs. Now, I don't know if you saw the footage of him bursting out the back line last week.
Yeah.
It is the strangest running style, but he just burst, chest up. I think he took about 2 or 3 bounces through the middle, lace out down the middle of the park. He is an absolute gun. I think Corns was saying he's worth $900,000 a year. I love him. I just love what he delivers. And Sydney were better on the weekend. They're far from where they should be, but they're a lot better on the weekend. And you can only beat who they put out in front of them. And they kicked 11-11, okay, against 6-15, and that wins any day of the week.
The conversion for Carlton was like 28%. Like it was beyond bad. Like genuinely. They went at an average of something like 61 disposals per goal. Like it was horrific.
Yep.
But across the stats, they had more scoring shots, more inside 50s, more rebound. Less rebound 50s, less clangers, more clearances, and yet it's just it. And Peps, you've played footy at a decent level. It's demoralising when you do all this hard work through the midfield, get a turnover, whatever it is. You bust your ass off in the middle of the ground to get a turnover, create that inside forward 50 opportunity, and your big man just absolutely shanks it. It's demoralising.
He sprays it like a 16-year-old boy on prom night. Like it's he just doesn't. Like at least he's trying. Like he was trying set shots, but he was putting them on the full or hooking them, or it's just nothing. And look, I play golf, and when you're struggling off the tee, that's what it feels like. Is no matter what you do, you're just spraying them everywhere.
Yep.
It is demoralising. You just don't want to play golf.
Yeah, you turn your hips this way, you put your feet that way,
You watch every
you push out wider.
You watch every Paige Sporanic golf video. You watch every Rick Shields video, every Peter Finch video. You go back to Paige Sporanic. None of it works. Except gets my YouTube views up, but that's about it too. But, hey, Sydney did what they had to do. They've got a sniff. I don't think they're going to make it.
Yep.
Alrighty, Buzz is here. Just at the time we're about to talk about his Saints going down by 10 points to the Hawthorn Hawks. 10 minutes to go. Bang. Bang, bang, bang. Hawthorn. Now, we called Mitchell a bit of a strange nut for what he's been doing. We might have got a sniff that he might actually have a bit of mastery in the madness.
Are Saints fans bored? Are they Saints fans? I mean, out there.
Comments. Are you bored?
Are you bored? Because you know this is coming. Like, I'm sure you must know this is coming every week now. It's the same kind of loss. Am I wrong, Peps?
Nope.
It's the same fourth quarter fade outs and a team just runs over you. Are you bored? I'd be bored of that.
Tell you what, I'd be worried.
I'd be pissed off. I'd be super pissed off.
Now. Last year they were 8-3. This year the wheels are starting to fall off again. And they're playing a lot more of a taxing game style as well too.
Much more defensive.
Yep. And it's going to hurt. It's going to hurt.
When you don't score enough goals, or you don't kick a high enough score, it puts you in a vulnerable position for a run like that, for a run of 6-5 goals.
Hawthorn won by 10 points. They had 10 more scoring shots. That could have easily been 5 or 6.
Yeah.
Now, James Sicily, we know he can be an absolute fruitcake. He's had 43 on the weekend, J-Dog. 658. Now, if I could have a bit of a...
out of bounds, on the full.
Why do we count the statistic of a kick for the bloke coming out of fullback? I would love to know how many of those 43 were from kicks out of fullback. So there would have had to have been at least... Oh, there was only going to be about 6 of them. That still mean he had 37. All right. Can't complain. He played really well, didn't he? He was everywhere.
21 intercept possessions.
He went up 90%.
It was unreal.
That's unreal. That is unreal. Like, yeah. What number does Sicily wear again? Oh, that's right. 6.
Peps. So this one here, I thought Saints. You halfway through the fourth quarter, Saints are cruising through with 20-point lead, something like that, 15-point lead, and then bang, 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 bang.
Yep. Now, Buzz, you're telling me that we're talking gibberish. We are respecting the competition. We are respecting Hawthorn. They came out, they won it with 10 minutes to go. Great football. All right. We're having a crack at your team because it's just another disappointing one. I love the way John Newcomb plays. Dylan Moore. And you look at these names, they're not names that stand out to a lot of people. But they do what they have to do. And this is what frustrates teams who have got name brands that are not getting the effort. Your team's got a lot of name brands, Buzz, and all St Kilda. You're not getting the effort. Melbourne, not getting the effort. Geelong, not getting the effort. So I think that's what we're saying is that we're loving what you're 7-4 with a first-year coach. You're not with a first-year coach, mate. He's been coaching for years. All right, you sacked the bloke who had you at 8-3. All right, I don't want to hear all this first-year business. Okay, you're playing a better game style, but you're letting games like this slip. All right, But maybe they're the losses that you have to have. Okay? You're still in there, you're still in the 8, you're still in a better position than Hawthorn are. All right? But the facts are the facts. They play better, haven't you? All right? Just like this game that I went to see live. Fremantle by 7 points over the D's. I wrote last week 3 things that Melbourne have to do. Is leave Cozzy Pickett in the forward line. Someone tag Sarong. And put someone back down to help the big back Lever and May. Guess what Melbourne didn't do? Melbourne didn't leave Cozzy in the forward line, and when he did, he looked a little bit dangerous. Nobody bothered to tag Sarong at all, and he just ripped us at a complete new one. And people are saying, oh, Lever and May are having the worst season at all than they've had. It's because they don't have that third big tall down to free up Lever and May. So it's Melbourne's own fault that they're causing this. But it's their lack of run. It's the bad goal kicking. It's just frustrating at the moment, seeing us 2 weeks in a row where we should have won, even though you probably should have won by 6 goals the previous week, to claw our way back and then let it go. And then on the weekend doing it again. It's frustrating a lot of the Melbourne players. It's the lack of tactics on game day. It's the lack of planning. Everybody's playing against us. We don't do anything. We don't negate anybody. We don't change it up. We just go with the same old, and it's not working. And that's why we're cracking the shits.
Yes.
Luke Jackson, never going to hate the bloke. He was brilliant on the weekend. Absolutely brilliant. Absolutely brilliant.
So, Peps.
Yep.
Your midfield shit, mate. This year, they're shit.
Okay.
They're shit. In the third quarter, you got outscored by 25 points from stoppages. In the fourth quarter, outscored by 12 points from stoppages. Where's your midfield gone? Where's it all gone? I know you didn't have Clary and all that sort of stuff.
No. I don't think one person is a midfield. I think the structures are. J-Dog, this has been going on for 2 years, this year and last year, and that's what frustrates us as well too. We can see where the deficits are. Nothing gets done about it. We know we don't have a sweeper. We lose centre clearances left, right, and centre. We don't have sweepers on the outside. As soon as somebody gets it, they're out.
The better Brayshaw was playing. The better Brayshaw looked beautiful on that round.
Which one?
The beautiful Brayshaw in his purple jumper. Ooh.
No, Angus wore red and blue, but that's okay. You'll get it right.
No, the other one.
No, they were just so much better. Brayshaw was brilliant. Hayden Young in the back line, he was just lapping up things left, right, and centre. And his kicking is sublime. Like, gorgeous to watch. Got to see O'Meara for the first time in a long time, and he's playing the best football, I think, ever since probably the first little bit of time. Nothing what he did at Hawthorn. He's probably a little bit at Gold Coast, but he's just playing. He's part of it. He's not the main man. He complements Sarong. He complements Brayshaw. Just exactly what they need. Their forwards. What more can you say about their forwards? Miss was fantastic. The other bloke that I couldn't remember his name, I'll tell you in a moment. Treacy as well too. Just big boys making a contest. That's all you can ask for. And they played Melbourne. They made Lever and Viney accountable. Yes, they are our 1 and 2 defenders, as Buzz said, but they made them accountable. They couldn't just drift off as well. They played us to a T. They were sensational, absolutely sensational. And there's a lot of questions that Melbourne need to ask about. Are we a we team or a me team at the moment? That's what I'm feeling. And Fremantle, I think that's their 4th win in a row. They're going on the right trajectory, and they're going all right. More games they play at Perth, it's going to be hard to beat.
We've got a few more games to get through, but Van Rooyen.
Yep,
looks a player. He looks a player.
He's going to be all right. He's only his 2nd year, 1st year of AFL footy, but he crunches packs. He has a crack. He just needs some support down there. He's not getting it from McDonald. He's not getting it from Ben Brown. That's something that Melbourne definitely need to look at as a second key forward. They've got a young bloke called Jefferson in the 2s, but he's a couple of seasons off. He's just too thin. Like, he's thinner than you, Jamie, and that's thin. GWS, great win against the Cats. They don't fear the Cats down there at GMHBA Stadium, do they?
Unreal. Yes, no, it's true. Unreal win. Probably one of their biggest wins in the last 2 seasons. If not 3 seasons, actually.
It was a win I reckon people could see happening, but they think it would actually happen. That makes sense.
Yeah, no, I get what you're saying. I'm not that bullish on GWS this year. I know there's
I'm not
signs of
either.
life.
But if you have a look at their form line over the year, they've only had one big loss, which was to Collingwood. I think they've been within winning games by or losing games by 4 goals throughout the entire season. Yep.
Yeah, that's true. I still didn't just see Geelong losing at the Cattery though.
No, I don't. But mate, there's just something about that Adam Kingsley team at the moment. They're just, like I said, Toby Green.
I can tell you what it is. It's the G-Man.
G-Man, who's the G-Man?
Toby Green.
I love it.
He's everything. He's everything to that club. He is everything as the same as Dusty is to Richmond.
he's
He is
more.
everything of that club.
He's more.
Probably,
he's
yeah,
more.
I
He's
agree.
their best ever player. I know they reckon. Will Dusty be their best ever player at Richmond? Probably. Go down top.
Probably most accoladed.
But Toby Green, Whitfield best game ever. What's he at? Number 6. You see where the numbers are floating in as well too. Connor Uden had his best game for the club as well too. They just all their players did what they had to do, and yeah, they were good. And but it almost shows that if Cameron doesn't fire, Hawkins struggles a bit, especially this year. He's been struggling.
Cameron doesn't fall.
And
Okay.
small forwards,
All
like
right.
Stengel hasn't been there, Close hasn't been there. Like the ones that you look at them and go, crikey, they're everywhere. They haven't been there like that this year. So
They've had some
I
injuries.
know they've had
at
an
the start-
injury, but
to
they
the
weren't
half-
even
to the
they weren't even
halfback.
close on the weekend. Like it's 7 points. They did rally with the last
No.
couple, but outside of that, they had him on toast.
Yeah.
They had him on toast as well too. Do you know who I missed? Tommy Roker, because Ted said he would be Chubbs Farquhar tonight because the Gold Coast Suns. What a cracking win over the Doggies up there in Darwin. Did you pick it?
Yeah.
No?
God, no.
13-6, great
Did
kicking.
you?
Didn't pick it, wasn't surprised.
I didn't pick it and
Yeah.
was
Oh,
surprised.
no, I reckon up there because of the heat factor. But they've been playing good football the last few weeks. They've just been a little bit stiff with a couple of the results. Western Bulldogs have been playing some pretty good footy, but you have a look at who's been, Rao's been sensational recently. Jack Lukosius have been sensational recently. Charlie Ballard, Bailey Humphrey, like these guys that, were lower, if you know what I mean, are really starting.
Mhm.
The best thing ever happened to this club, I know it's going to sound strange, is Tuke Miller not playing. Because these other guys have had to rise. No,
Yep.
Anderson has
I
continued
agree.
his great year. David Swallow, he's not going anywhere for a while. He continually ticks over. Nick Holman in his 100th game. Like, just all these guys, they just did what they had to do, and they ground out a wing. Matt Rowell, he's bursting out of packs now. He's bursting from stoppages. Like, geez, you got to remember, he's only into his 4th season, this guy. He is. He'll win a Brownlow. I'm convinced he'll win a Brownlow. When he
And the
stands out,
Dogs
he
charged.
stands out not just because he's a redhead. He's a brute.
He's probably, yes. He's there for a while anyway. The Suns, full snaps and claps to them, resilience, because they got within 1 point of being overrun, and we would have seen games last season, the last 10 seasons where they
Exactly
would have got
right.
overrun that,
Yep. Exactly.
but they held on.
They
They
held
held on, and they won.
We were talking about efficiencies with Sicily. Raoul went at 72%, 29 disposals, 700 metres gained. Chucking a goal as well too.
As a-
Chucking 8 score involvements. Throw in 7 tackles. What do you get? BOG by the length of the Flemington Straight.
And I know this is a term that I've stolen from Nathan Buckley, but to have that sort of efficiency from a player who plays in the small circle, if you're talking, I'm talking about from around, to go at 70% from the small circle as a breakout player, that's pretty unreal. That's mint elite. Could even be better than Pendles. Does Raoul have a background in
Don't think so.
basketball?
He has more about grass consumption. Choose the grass,
Okay.
not the hard.
Rastafari.
I'm not talking about the
he's a
Bulldogs. They've been
Rastafarian.
playing some good footy. When you go down by 7 points up there in the heat, If they haven't got the bye this week, it'll be interesting to sort of see how they recover. Teams don't usually recover that well after playing in Darwin.
Poor bastards. Ballarat 1 week, then up on the plane up to
that's-
Brisbane the following week. That's
Perfect Monday, gorgeous the next.
rough.
Really quick game. Essendon thumped West Coast. Look, even though West Coast were beaten, they seem to have been changing the way that they've played the last couple of weeks as well too. So they're far from being impressive, let's be honest. Essendon did what they have to do. They will play finals. I can't believe I'm going to say this. They will play finals. Like, there's draws softer than my waistline for the remainder of the year. So they're going to smash it this year. I think they play Hawthorn twice. I think they've still got West Coast twice, North Melbourne twice. There's 4 wins there. They're doing everything that they possibly can. They're just doing everything.
Do you know what?
Right. And West Coast, much to talk about.
Shannon Hearn went at 100% disposal efficiency at 27 disposals,
Not bad.
including 8
Not bad.
rebound 50s.
That is
Isn't that amazing?
And
100% efficiency.
Mason Redmond went at 93% for 31 disposals and 591 metres gained. And Jaden Hunt, like one thing that Melbourne could use right now is a bit of speed on the ball. Probably his best game ever. 34 touches, 684 metres at 82. Good on him. He's having a crack. Good on him.
Well, Essendon this year are very, very efficient. They don't waste the ball.
I think that's one thing that Scott's brought into the club is don't waste it. When you get it, don't waste it. Simple as that. And they're not wasting it. They had a hard start to the season. Now the fruits of their labour are going to pay off. Hey, let's talk really quickly about your mob. Port Adelaide against Richmond on the weekend. It was a 10-point win. Did you? And when I say this,
Yeah.
did you win the game, or did Richmond lose the game, or should the result have been a lot bigger?
The game, I was never nervous about the game. I was frustrated at how much we dominated and kept missing, which is just a theme that I have with Port Adelaide. I'm
2
not
weeks in a
going
row.
to talk into it, but I'm frustrated. We've got some players. I know that Craig and then spoke about Ollie Lord. I think he's an absolute jet. He is going to be a jet for us. But it's just our efficiency in front of goals is going to kick our ass in the finals.
Can
I
I
know
say
it
one
already.
thing though? God, I love
Yes.
Marge. I love
He's
Marge.
good, isn't he?
Like Zach Butters.
Those two,
Walking down the
Rosie
street,
and
you go
Butters.
nerd alert. He plays Dungeons and Dragons. Not that there's anything wrong with
Yeah.
that. Him and Rosie, my goodness gracious.
Could you see them? They're a different player. I get it. But could they rival Daniel Kerr and Cousins? Not on the Saturday night gear, but on the football field.
In
Do
the
you
number
think?
2 position? Because number 1's Oliver Petrarca. We know that. Yeah,
Ollie
maybe.
and Clary.
Yeah,
They're pretty dynamic. They look
They're
for each
good.
other on the field.
Yeah. And they're gorgeous. I love what they do. I love what they do.
sorry,
You've got everything
Richmond.
going right at the moment. They're just immense. Tim Taranto, for a guy that's not in top 150 players, stick that up here with 33. I'll kick 4.
Yeah, so he was that. The Jack Rewalt's done. Koch is done. McIntosh is done. Oh, sorry, not reckon. Bolton is. Oh, sorry, Bolter. Basically, without Bolter, we would have stuffed. They were amazing with Bolter, but without Dusty, and Dusty's gettable.
You know what's gettable?
Dusty's going.
He's going to Gold
Dusty's
Coast.
going.
Butters and Rosie with Jason Horn-Francis. That makes me horny. You know what? I would even knock the top off one of those two, Greg Jones. It'd make me horny as well too. That is a midfield that next 5 years, don't waste it. Don't waste it.
Richmond are just going to go down. That's just the reality of where they're at now.
Collingwood North, much to say about this?
Collingwood just doing what they do.
Once again, North
Like, they're
playing a bit more freer football, aren't they? They've been really contested in the last
Yeah.
couple of weeks too. Like, I thought that would have been a lot bigger margin than 35 points. I thought that'd be probably 60.
At one stage, it was looking like that. But they're
I will
running.
say one thing though. I've talked
Yeah.
about DeGoey. I've talked about Dacos's, Clank, all these. Nick Larkey, I think he's sitting fourth in the Coleman at the moment. I think he's 7 behind the leader in a team that's 18th. Oh, sorry, 17th. God, I'll tell you what, I'd love to have him at the D's. I don't think he had a prime out of North Melbourne, but he's a guy that gets goals and kicks goals on a regular basis. Unfortunately, I think he's going to be wasted at North. But you see that there's a flicker. There's a flicker there. There's a flicker. Phillips.
Well, they won the final
Pardon?
quarter. They won the final quarter.
To win. Phillips probably played his best game as well too. Hugh Greenwood probably played his best game for them. The hyphen, Coleman Jones probably played his best game for them as well too. Charlie Lazaro probably played his best game for the club. So it's it's like, actually no, he didn't. He only had 5 touches. Looked a lot better than when I first looked at it. But yeah, they just looked a hell of a lot better than they had under Clarkson in the first number of weeks as well too. So Eddie Ford was pretty good. Like you know what I mean? Like you can only do what you do, but there's a little bit of hope. They've got more hope than West Coast.
Yes. But Larky, as I said, Larky 5 goals, 2 behinds.
All right, and let's round this one off with probably one of the best games of the weekend as well too. Adelaide Crows over Brisbane, 17 points. It's the Burgess effect. I've spoken to you about it. The Burgess effect at Adelaide is real. You want to talk about you got the exciting midfielders. They've got the exciting forwards. Rankin and Rochelle, double R's. Love what they have.
Did you see Rochelle's snap banana kicky dribbly
I
thing?
saw Pickett do one as well too. Then Rankin goes to the left foot from the pocket and says, "It's my pocket now." High five with the crowd. Drop the phone selfie. Like he just did everything.
Unbelievable.
Oh, they were just
Unbelievable.
like Rankin, best pickup. Rory Laird, unfortunately, is going to be out, which sucks because he's just absolutely dominated one of it as well too. Yeah, they say the Crows are fat track bullies, can't win outside of Adelaide. Yeah, I think that's one thing that a lot of the media pundits who are a little bit more expertised than us would say that outside of Adelaide, that's their only challenge at this stage. But yeah, you can only win against teams you play and at the ground you play at. All right, so long, same as West Coast, same as Fremantle. They got the opportunity. They play 11 games, probably 12 games at the Adelaide Oval. You win 8, 9, and 10 of those. You only have to win a few more to make the 8. So they're in a really good spot. Yep.
Peps?
Yep.
Brisbane. 10 goals,
Yep.
18 points. Bad kicking
Yeah,
is...
football. You're not going to win
Correct.
flags with that type of score. Well, they've still had 28.
Nope.
I don't mind it, but they're going to have to tighten that up finals-wise because they lost a game to Richmond a couple of years ago with bad. Oh, sorry, they did win that one. It was the other way around, but that could have been a lot more if they'd kicked straight. That's it. Round 11.
We're going to... Quick
All
eight.
right.
Quick
You
eight.
quickly do yours.
Update.
I'll quickly do mine, and then we're going to wrap this super mega huge.
All right, let me just quickly look
I
at
didn't
the,
look
at the
at the
ladder.
ladder.
Let me have a quick.
So is he
quick
looking at the ladder
refresh.
for the end of the year? All right, this is what I'll say. Here, I'll do it first. All right. In no particular order, because I'm only going by what I see here. Collingwood, Port, Brisbane, Melbourne, Bulldogs, Essendon,
I got
Fremantle,
mine already. Yeah.
and I want to really say it, but I don't think it's going to happen. Gold Coast. I think Gold Coast have an all right
okay,
run
all
towards
right.
the end of the year. The outrider,
I'm gonna say
outrider
Frankie.
will be Adelaide.
Okay.
Yep.
So for me, I just see Adelaide falling out, Fremantle coming in.
Okay.
I mean, it's hardly earth-shattering news because you're on the same points, but that's the change I see. I say everyone down from the Suns is done.
Yeah, I
So
think,
Carlton, GWS, Richmond, Hawthorn, North, and West Coast are done.
no, good point. I'm looking at the top 4. I don't know at the moment. I'm not Collingwood, Port definitely in. Brisbane, probably definitely. Melbourne are a bit shaky, but if they've been shaky and they've got a bit of a tougher run as well too. So I think they'll be playing finals. I don't know if they're going to be top 4. But then I look and say, who's going to be the other top 4 team? The only other top 4 team that I can think that could probably be, and I'm going to laugh when I hear this, is Essendon. Because of the run that they have, they win 3/4 of their remaining games. They're top 4.
Yep.
Just because now, that could be a bit of a false economy in terms of they'd probably get blown away by Collingwood and whoever they play against. That's nothing against Essendon. Don't get me wrong when I say that. I'm not putting them down. But I just think that the run that they've got to be 6-5 at this moment in time, that could easily be 14-9 by the end of the year. Another 8 wins. I'm pretty happy with that. Pretty happy with that. You know what else you're going to be happy with? You're going to be pretty happy with Lace Out being the greatest number 1 AFL non-club affiliated podcast. Hey.
Any other question? Comms, Buzz, can you just explain how an umpire has a free kick for tackles if the tackle is deemed dangerous for children?
No.
Buzz, you missed the start of the chat. We don't understand it.
We don't understand.
The tribunal does things. The umpire has a free kick on the field for something that's good. The tribunal sees it, thinks it's dangerous. The player gets 1 week. That is 2023.
When it comes to interpretation rules and anything related to umpires,
There's no cash here. Here, there's no cash. All right? Cash, no. Robbo? No cash.
no idea at all, Buzz. No idea at all. Really quickly, games that you're looking forward to this weekend, J-Dog? Anything that's sort of catching your eye heading into round 12 of the AFL season?
Ooh, yeah. This week I'm looking forward to. I think you guys have got a good game this year. Oh, you got Carlton first on Friday night. That'll be a good one. That'll be interesting. Just for me, it's more just the storyline out of that one.
Yeah. Look, I think Carlton have got that many injuries. I think Pitnet's gone out. I think they're going to have like 5 or 6 changes from the game on the weekend. So it's going to be tough for them.
Probably, okay, I'm looking at either the Suns and Adelaide Crows.
Yep.
And that's it.
Actually, another game I'm looking forward to
What's that one?
is Western Bulldogs Geelong.
Second best game of the round.
I want to see what Hawthorn do against your mob. Can you imagine if that happens? Oh, Kentucky. Hey, everybody who's joined us on the chat live, you have been absolutely sensational. Cracking questions. Every single week we do this show because of you, so thank you very much. Everybody listening to us now, thank you very much. Hey, if you haven't shared, told your friends, your mum, your auntie, your cousin, your brother, everybody, your mistress, your lover, about us, you're doing something wrong. So give us a review, give us a like, tell everybody about Lace Out. It's the greatest podcast. Comes to footy.
Sorry we've gone long today, Peps. I'm sorry, everyone.
But hey, when you got the great man joining us again, Jamie the J-Dog, why would you want to go early? We just got to stretch it out. All right. So J-Dog, thank you for joining me again. We love to see you back on the tunes whenever you can. So thank you very, very much. The listeners, have a great week. But one question and one question only. Shout out at the top of your lungs, everybody. Jamie Wallace, co-host with the most, my brother from another mother. How do you want your footy?
I like it. Lace out.
Like my ladies. Hey, and by the way, if you haven't, get on the TV show called Jury Duty. It's an absolute corker. Have a great week, listeners.
See you, listeners.